Hey everyone, happy Sunday fun day. Happy Easter. Hopefully everyone is being able to get out and enjoy this great weather that we've got in North Texas anyway. And if not, if you're somewhere else, I hope that you're enjoying your time on Easter Sunday. Did anyone get to tune in to their favorite church service this morning? I know I did. I watched the Southern Cross Ministry from one of my friends on Facebook, Gary E.Z. Odell. Thank you, Gary, for starting to make that service something we could all watch remotely. You're way out there in the country anyway, so it's hard to get to you out there. Having a hard time breathing. So that is where I'm at today. I wanted to give everyone an update, and also this is a way for me to keep a chronological order of symptoms and how I'm getting along. This is day 7, so I have been sick for 7 days. This started last Sunday, and here we are a week later. I've been up out of the bed for less than an hour. I have barely done anything. So I want to say that my temperature with Tylenol, with taking Tylenol, is 99.7. So that is a fairly mild temperature. And while I'm on that subject, I want to give you some advice for everyone listening. The old idea of the average temperature that should be, 98.7 or something like that, that's not true. That was an average temperature way back in the day that was based on a study done of a small amount of people. And it was published and it became the average temperature for that time period. But it is not necessarily your average body temperature. It isn't the same for everyone. So if you're not sick, it would behoove you to start taking your temperature to find out what your average base temperature is right now while you're not sick. And also keep in mind that your temperature changes depending on what time of day it is. So if anything, just as a preventative deal, start taking your temperature around the same time of day for the next few days, just so you know what your baseline is. My baseline is around 97.1. So I know that from that baseline, if I have a temperature or not, because that average temperature is not everybody's average temperature. So please, if you want to know what you can do for yourself, that is a good place to start. Get a baseline. Because if you do end up having this strain of virus, you want to know if you have a temperature. And it typically has a mild, low base temperature. So anything over 100, you should probably be concerned. But treat your symptoms like I've been saying all along. And again, I probably should have a rider. I am not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I don't have any medical experience. I just know that what I'm being told by my medical people. So take your temperatures while you're healthy. Take it around the same time of day so you know what your baseline temperature is when you are not sick. So if you get sick, then you'll know. All right, so I'm at, what did I tell you? What I say, 99.5. I knew it before I started. I should have written it down. I'm just under 100. And the most I've had is 100.5, I think is the highest that I've been. But I take Tylenol pretty much around the clock because of the body aches. And I don't know if it's the right thing or the wrong thing, but I take really hot baths or I use the hot tub, and that helps all my body aches too. Okay, so much for the temperature. I guess I'm harping on that because I left that out the last time. Also, I have this oxygen meter that I take, and I look for my oxygen saturation because breathing seems to be the symptom for me that is the most, it's what bothers me the most. And high blood pressure too. And I'm typically someone that has a very low high blood pressure. My hands are shaking, and it's not from being nervous. My resting pulse on this has been somewhere around 100 and, gosh, I hate to tell you this, but I checked my oxygen saturation. It was at 93. So I put this on, and this really helps a lot. Again, thank you, Mike Haranga, for delivering this. He dropped it off at the door like an angel. I didn't ask for this, but I needed it, as turns out. So with this, my oxygen is right around 93, the oxygen saturation, and my resting pulse is around 125, which is way too high. But again, that's one of the things that your body will do. It'll raise your pulse because it's working so hard to fight this stuff off. What I want to talk about mostly is how yesterday was my worst day. And being emotional is something that is huge. Your emotional well-being will affect your physical well-being. We all know that. But in this time of crisis, as we text and say, you know, during this thing, we all have high emotions because we're not working as much, or I know essential workers are working as much and even more. I understand that. My profession is also, as a real estate agent, considered an essential position, and our office is working strong. We're in a property management office. We have to take care of repairs and take care of emergencies that arise with the tenants, and we're considered an essential business. So I understand, essential business aside, there's a lot of us that have hours that are being cut, which means our money is being cut, or we're getting laid off, or we've got self-employment issues where people aren't working at all because they're hairdressers or they're in a profession that no one wants to go to. So tensions are really high. And we're also all dependent on each other. We need physical touch. We need hugs. So our emotions are going to run the gamut. I get that. And yesterday was a really tough day. I live in my roommate's house. So let me give you a scenario of where I live. I live in a nice ranch house in Wiley. It's on a nice half-acre with a beautiful backyard and a nice pool and hot tub, and it's like an oasis out there. I love it. But I have my side of the house that is now completely closed off, and she has her side of the house. Unfortunately, I don't have my own restroom back here, so I do have to go into the main part of the house to wash up and stuff. But we're living on completely separate quarters. We've been living together over 3 years, and we get along. But these past couple of weeks, there's been a lot of tension. And I bet everybody has been experiencing that if you're living with someone. It's just normal. Tensions are high. But more than anything, this unknown stuff is really making people uncomfortable. And it's making your temper short, my temper short. And it's scary. The unknown thing is scary. And I imagine that suicide rate is going to skyrocket with emotional issues, with financial issues, and the uncertainty. So use this social media stuff to reach out to other people, and on your phones, you know, we have video chats and things like that, or just make phone calls. But please stay away from each other. I'm still seeing groups and groups of people that are posting pictures with each other. I wish you'd just stop. I mean, I'm at home and I have been for a month. I have very limited outings and still here I am sick. This is real. It's not some government conspiracy theory, I promise you. But it's not something that has to be deadly for everybody. I'm not dying. I'm doing good. It's slow and steady, and the doctor says I've got a long road, and it isn't something that passes pretty fast. The good news is I won't get it again, and I can't wait to get through it and over it so that I can start going out and helping others, because I know what it's like now. And I know what I need, so hopefully I can be in tune with what other people need, but most of all, people need your emotional support. We need each other, no matter who we think we are and how tough we think we are. Okay, so I'm out here to let you know how I'm doing, because it's hard to talk. It's hard to talk often, so I'm doing this. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, I'm not an expert, but please feel free to write in comments, or you can send something out on Messenger. And if you know my phone number, feel free to text me there too. Please don't call. It's just hard. It's hard to catch my breath. Although the live videos have been great, where I get to just sort of sit and watch what's going on. I love it when you guys include me on these group chats, on Messenger group chats. Oh man, this air, this is a godsend, people. I love it. The other thing I want to talk to you about is test results. You know, when we're in school and we're learning our math or English and all that, we have the subject, we know the stuff, but then we get all anxious about tests and taking a test and about our test results. People don't get hung up on that. It is what it is. Your symptoms are what they are. Treat them. There's no need to have anxiety about a test. Don't be anxious about that stuff. They're waiting for results. It isn't a death sentence. If you start having symptoms, treat the symptoms. And everyone has their different opinions and their ideas of how to treat them. I can tell you that I'm treating them with my own immune system. I'm taking Tylenol. I have some echinacea and golden seal, and I've got some other herbs and natural deals that I'm taking with tonic water, which, whether it's real or not, apparently quinine is what helps you absorb these nutrients better. Yes, Robert, I did. So again, back to testing. Don't let yourself be so, yes, Joe, I did. Don't let yourself be so worried about test results, because what you really need to care about are your symptoms. There are way more mild cases than there are deadly cases. Look at your averages. So this fear is coming out of worrying about dying. What you should be fearing is giving everyone this virus, because you don't know who can fight it and who can't. Once you've been sick, and once you have got the antibodies in your blood, it's been said that it's like the chicken pox. You're not going to get them again. I don't know about you, but I had the chicken pox twice. But we should be careful about carrying this virus around. I'm surprised at how many people don't know that you can have no symptoms and yet you can still pass it on to other people. And the chances are, with our statistics and with the smart people, you more than likely, if you went to get a test now if you've been out in the public, if you've been going around doing your normal life, you more than likely would test positive, even though you don't have any symptoms. And that could very well be why you're not getting sick. So please, if you're not sick and you think that this is all horseshit because you're out there socializing with people and you haven't gotten sick, don't think that this virus is horseshit, because you could very likely be carrying it with you when you have no symptoms at all. And you'll be giving it to other people that can't tolerate it the way that your body can tolerate it. Does that make sense? Maybe that puts it in a good perspective. But let me say it again. You may have no symptoms and you think that this virus is nothing because you have not curtailed your activities. You've still been around people and they haven't gotten sick and you haven't gotten sick. So you think that this is all horseshit. Well, it's not. You could have the virus, and if you went to get tested, like all of your medical staff right now that's on the front lines, they more than likely would go and get tested today and be positive for the virus. And yet they're still treating us. They're treating us with the right precautions, but they still have to get their temperatures before they go to work. And if they show any symptoms at all, they cannot go to work. And I know that to be a fact. But they are in the environment treating people, wearing the right mask, washing their hands correctly, taking the safety precautions. And a lot of these people are not even going home to their families or staying in hotels because they can't bring this home to their families. Even though they're healthy and they're not sick, they can still carry it to their families. Please, I can't stress this enough. Joe, if I knew how I got it, I would have $1 million. I got it from somebody passing it to me. I don't know how that happened. Maybe it was my first Amazon package that came in the door. Maybe it was the person that was in front of me in line. Maybe it was someone that coughed on their hands and they pumped gas. I don't know how I got it, but I did. So I can't stress it enough, guys. Just can't stress it enough. Stay home. Don't go out and visit your friends and family because you're lonely at home or because you're sick of being told you have to stay there. You could be passing this on to other people. You won't qualify to get a test because you're not showing symptoms. But why do you need the test? Just stay away from the anxiety of the test. Treat your symptoms. Stay safe. Keep yourself safe from others. And for God's sakes, quit going out there acting like it's no big deal, hugging friends and family, and passing on something that an invisible enemy. Quit passing it on to other people. I know you think you're infallible, especially us bikers. We all think that we are infallible. We go out and ride our bikes every day, and we challenge death. And we say, well, if I die on my bike, then I die happy. And I agree. I agree too. But as you know, I'm safety conscious. I wear my helmet. And I'm an advocate about being safe. I'm not radical or fanatical. Have fun. Just be smart. So that's my 2 cents for the day. The way you qualify for a test, Joe, is you have to show the symptoms, and then you have to get, if you go to the CDC website, the exact CDC website, there is a self-tracker and there is a self-evaluation tool, and you can go through that, or you can call a teledoc, and they'll ask you a series of questions, and you may qualify for that, and it's with your temperature. And again, I'm going to be careful about advise when it comes to exacts because I'm not qualified to answer those questions. But a qualified health professional will screen you, or the CDC website will tell you if you should go seek medical attention. The CDC website. Stop watching the news and stop reading Facebook posts and unqualified videos that are being passed around on Messenger. That just irritates the living shit out of me. What if I started a little Facebook video that said that every morning you need to get up and eat a bowl of shit on your cereal because it's going to help you be healthy? And I acted like it was working, and then you passed it to someone, and you passed it to someone, you passed it for someone. That's what our media is doing. They're feeding us a bowl of shit every morning. I'm not gonna get off on that tangent, but pay attention to your body. Pay attention to the live videos from our people that are qualified to make them. I'm not saying that, again, I'm listening to myself. I'm not here for advice. I'm here to show you that I have it and I'm otherwise healthy and I'm fighting through it. I have symptoms that are manageable. I have a very good friend that is in the hospital that is being treated. He's been away from his family. No one's able to go in and see him. He can't get gifts, and he can't be visited. He's very lonely. Think about that. I mean, do you want to pass that on to someone? He got that virus from someone that probably didn't know that they were carrying it. But they did, and they gave it to him. And he has been fighting for his life. He's very close to being released, and they actually thought that he might be able to go home today, but he can't. They're keeping him a little bit longer because he's not strong enough, not healthy enough yet to go home. And they don't want him to relapse. So think about that. He's in the hospital. He has been fighting really terribly hard. And that's because somebody passed it to him. And it wasn't somebody walking around with oxygen in their nose looking like they were sick and coughing all over the place. It was somebody that was asymptomatic that had the virus that passed it to him. And that's the same thing that happened to me. But this is how it affected me. And that's how it affected him. That's why I say you're walking around passing the stuff to other people. Knock it off. Just knock it off. How hard is that? And if we all did that, this thing would die down. Look at Italy and look at New York and what's going on with them. Everyone thinks it can't happen to them, but it can. And that's why I'm doing these videos, because it can. One other trick. So I told you about take your temperatures, find out what your base temperature is when you're not sick, so that if you do start getting sick and you take your temperature, you'll know if it's high or not. Because look it up, Google it. Google what is average temperature. Look at more than one site about that. You'll see that 98.7, I think, or 98.6 or whatever that is, was tested a long time ago by a small sample of people, and it got publicized, and that has been the average norm that us lay people have carried around with us all these years, thinking that's an average temperature. It's not. It's different for everybody. So if you're healthy and you're doing well right now, take your temperature, same time of day, so that you know what your baseline is in case. And the second thing I want to talk about is getting air in your lungs. Laying down and resting is the best thing you could do to help your body heal, right? You've got to get up and move around as much as you can. But when your air saturation starts to go down, you've got to rest. Well, I learned a trick from the doctor. If you lay on your stomach and you put like a pillow under your sternum when you're laying down, and what that's going to do is help your back spread out, because your lungs are in your back. You know, we think about our lungs being up front. When we take a deep breath in, our lungs are in our back. And when you're sitting down like I am now, they're constricting. When when you're doing flies at the gym, you're opening up your back and your lungs are expanding. So think about that. So if you're laying on your stomach and you have a nice hard pillow under you like this, and you lay down, you are going to make that back expand. Or even just sitting on the couch, and I do this, and I can expand my back, you can get a lot more air into your lungs, and it'll help you breathe. So that's what I've got to say about being aware of not passing it on to people. You're not necessarily going to die. The majority of people have symptoms like I do, and we're living with it. And our mental state, everybody's mental state, is being challenged right now. And mine is challenged because I have this virus. My roommate's mental state is really being challenged because she has to live with somebody that's sick. She doesn't know every day. She doesn't know, is she going to get sick too? And we're doing the best that we can to keep away from each other. And I wash my hands every time I'm near water. I use hand sanitizer. But I've got myself stuck in the back room with the door shut. And I've got my back door open, so I have fresh air coming in and hopefully helping to rinse out some of this gook. And I'm wiping stuff down. But our mental state, all of us, is in jeopardy. We have to support one another and be happy. And if you have a motorcycle, go out there and ride it and wear your helmet. Keep your knees in the breeze and get some therapy in the wind. But be safe about it. Live happy, love each other, and let's get through this together because everybody's in this together. Let's get through it. Yeah, fear-mongering. Exactly, Joe. It is fear-mongering. But it's not a hoax. The virus is not a hoax. Sorry. I'm going to wholeheartedly disagree with you there. But the fear doesn't have to be there. And again, what difference does it make? You could be fearful and get sick and worry yourself to death, and it's not going to change anything. So I'm in good spirits today, and I plan on staying in good spirits today. Judge me if you want to, but I want to carry on as much of a normal life as I can. I want to be involved in my life as much as I can while being at home and using every bit of strength I have to help lift my spirits and hopefully lift yours too. So thank you again for all the cards, for the presents, for the offers of help, for checking on me. And I'm about out of breath, so I'm going to stop for now. But I love it. Please, I love it. I love hearing from you. Ed, wait. So I got to talk about this Tylenol thing. There are a lot of controversial things going on the internet, and Tylenol, take only Tylenol, has been one of the things. I could scroll through my phone and show you what the doctor told me about it. But I'm not going to give away their names. Trust me or not. A very well-known hospital here in Dallas is not prescribing only Tylenol. They have not been told by the CDC to only prescribe Tylenol. In fact, they're doing the same regimen as they always have for fighting fever. It's to go aspirin, Tylenol, aspirin, Tylenol. Call it bullshit if you want to, Joe. But the hospital, the large hospital, has not gone to only Tylenol. They don't have any evidence or any directives from the CDC that says to take only Tylenol. Having said that, if Tylenol works for you, by all means, take Tylenol. The majority of people that have this virus are not dying. The majority of people have low symptoms or easy to manage symptoms, and Tylenol probably works just great. Okay, guys, I appreciate you hanging in there with me. I went a little longer than I expected. I know I lose you. I'm going to put this up on YouTube too, so that I know it's going to be on Facebook, but it'll end up going farther and farther down on my news feed. So if you want to follow me on YouTube, just message me on Facebook and I'll send you the link. And everybody keep your knees in the breeze and keep your germs out of the breeze. And please wear your helmet. Have a great Easter.